Hello, this is zzuxon presenting my SSB4 rosters, version 11. It's important to note that these are not a wish list, nor are they a prediction. They're my attempt to make a set of rosters that makes sense. So don't go saying, well, Sakurai hates Sukapon, or whatever, because I don't care what Sakurai thinks. This is what I would do. So, there are going to be two versions of Super Smash Bros. 4. One for the Wii U and one for the 3DS. As a result, I have two separate rosters, each with their own exclusive characters. Now, some people are going to be angered by this, but if there isn't a reason to get both versions of the game, Nintendo is going to lose a lot of money. Some people are going to say, well, just the fact that it's Smash on the go is reason enough, but it's not. Especially in these hard economic times. They need good reasons to get both games. As a result, I have, in the 3DS version, a variety of popular characters, such as Isaac, Starfy, Fawful, and a customizable character option. This will make getting both versions of the game appealing to people. Now, when I was making my rosters, I decided to devote the Wii U version entirely to Nintendo's console history, while devoting the 3DS version entirely to Nintendo's handheld history. This way, a lot of Nintendo history can be represented between the two versions. On top of that, the 3DS also has limited memory capabilities, so it won't be able to handle having as many characters. So without further ado, let's get straight to the Wii U roster. The Wii U roster has 50 characters. My new Mario character is Toad. In my opinion, Toad is just the obvious choice for a new Mario character. He has been with the series since the beginning, and he's an icon. He's had his own playable appearances, and movesets are easy to make for him. A group of Toad supporters on Smashboards myself included, have made no more than 4 different movesets for Toad, so that's not an issue. He's the best Mario choice. I used to not like the idea of adding in a third Donkey Kong character because I didn't think the series was big enough to warrant a third character. Turns out it's a lot bigger than I thought it was, so I added in King K. Rool, which is the obvious choice. The Legend of Zelda gets 2 newcomers, Tingle and Skull Kid. You'll realize that I've removed Toon Link. It's not because I wanted to, but I couldn't afford to have 2 different versions of Link in the 3DS roster, and the 3DS roster was more qualified to have 2 versions of Link, so I wasn't able to put the 2 versions in the Wii U roster. So I have in Tingle and Skull Kid. Tingle has had his own spin-off games, which in my opinion just make him the obvious choice. Some people will say, yeah, but everyone hates him in America, so you shouldn't put him in. But he's liked in America more than you give him credit for. I really like Tingle. I wish they had released his games over here so I could play them, because I would have bought them. And on a recent popularity poll done on Smashboards, done on Smashboards, Game FAQs, and YouTube, Tingle placed 39th out of hundreds of characters. So he's more popular here in the West than most people give him credit for. Skull Kid is in due to high fan demand and the strong possibility of a Majora's Mask remake on the 3DS. You may realize that Lucario's not here. Don't panic, he's just a 3DS exclusive. Victini I put in instead of Zoroark because Victini is a perfectly viable character. He's a little more popular than Zoroark, and he could represent the Mew-like Pokemon in Super Smash Bros. I put in 2 new Metroid characters because Metroid is around the same size as the Kirby and Fire Emblem series, which both have 3 characters, so Metroid should also get 3 characters. Dark Samus would not be a clone. Kenji, you can see over on the left-hand side. He's kind of pixelated. Kenji is the main character of the original Nintendo game, Kung Fu. I put him in over Lil Mac because he's iconic. You know, it's Kung Fu. It's an iconic original Nintendo game. And, I used to not think he was owned by Nintendo, but it turns out he is. So that's why I put in Kenji. You may realize that I removed Wolf. In my opinion, Star Fox should never have gotten a 3rd character. It was a mistake, and just as much of a mistake as putting in Dr. Mario, or, Pichu. It just shouldn't have gotten a 3rd character. That's a slot that should have gone to a deserving series. That's why I removed Wolf, because I think it was a mistake. He's probably not going to really be removed, but that's why I did it here in my roster. I mean, Star Fox has like 4 original games, and it's dying. It's a dead series. It's fairly popular, so I think it can get 2 characters, but 3 is just going overboard, so that's why I removed Wolf. Now I can have a more diverse roster, which is, the way I like it. As you can see, I've included Tom Nook as a playable character in my roster. I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about Waluigi. Animal Crossing is a big series. This is not deniable. It's probably Nintendo's biggest series that has not yet gotten a playable character in Super Smash Bros. Now some people are going to say, well, it got Stage, isn't that enough? No, it's not enough. It's such a big series. It's bigger than Star Fox. Star Fox had 3 characters in Brawl. It's ridiculous that it didn't get a character in Brawl, in my opinion. Lip is the main character of Panel de Pawn, a popular puzzle game that was released only in Japan. Well, it was released in America too, but it was kind of changed. Anyway, I put her in to represent the puzzle games that Nintendo does a lot. And she can have a viable moveset. I mean, Bongo Buddy 61 made a moveset for her. He's a friend of mine on YouTube. He makes lots of great movesets. He specializes in making movesets. Well, not really specializes, but he makes movesets for characters that don't seem to lend themselves to having, moves and such, like Lip. There'll be a couple of characters in the 3DS roster that he's made movesets for. Tingle, he does great stuff. You should go subscribe to him, because he's awesome. I'm not sure if I've already said this, but don't panic if you haven't seen Mr. Game & Watch. He's just a 3DS exclusive. So, he's still there. Slime and Chocobo, you may see as an interesting choice, because, they're not from the same series. But this is, in my opinion, simultaneously a compromise and an ideal Square Enix representative. Slime represents Dragon Quest and Enix, and Chocobo represents Final Fantasy and Square. Together, they would make an ideal representative. It also end the Dragon Quest character or Final Fantasy character debate in Square Enix. Character debates. And in my opinion, giving it a character from any other series is just ridiculous. Those are its big things. Pac-Man is a little weird. I put him in, to represent Namco, but also because, he's Pac-Man. He's one of the most iconic video game characters in existence. So, that's kind of why I put him in. I'd easily be able to take him out. He's kind of high up on my kick list if I need to get rid of any characters. And I think that's all I need to say about my Wii U roster. I'll be moving on to my 3DS roster now. I forgot to mention earlier that the exception to the Wii U console history, 3DS roster, handheld history rule is third-party characters. All third-party characters are on the Wii U version, regardless. This is just a hypothetical cost-cutting maneuver on my part. You know, the cost of making these two high-profile games is going to be high. So, you know, also, the 3DS roster has limited amount of characters. I wanted to devote those more to Nintendo people. Alright, so there's a big difference between the Wii U Pokemon and the 3DS Pokemon. On the Wii U version, I kind of wanted to do the same thing that Smash has always been doing with the Pokemon characters. You know, lots of first-gen Pokemon with a new Pokemon for the newest gen. But, in the 3DS roster, it's different. The 3DS version actually is representing the games directly. So I wanted to do less of a popularity thing and more of a game representation, more of a game representation thing. So I have one character for each generation. Pikachu represents the first gen. Heracross represents the second gen. Hoenn Pokemon Trainer with Mudkip, Grovyle, and Blaziken represents the third gen. Lucario represents the fourth gen, and Victini represents the fifth gen. Going down to Legend of Zelda, I have a Phantom Zelda and Tetra character. I didn't put in just a regular version of just Toon Zelda because she doesn't really have much of a presence in the handheld games. She's not even in most of the handheld games in her just regular Zelda form, except for Spirit Tracks, where, you know, she literally cannot do anything unless she's a Phantom. So it kind of saves data space, and she'd probably just be a clone anyway, so I think this is the better route to take. Don't think I really need to say anything about Vaati or Tingle. Fawful is in to represent the Mario and Luigi games. I don't know, I don't think I really need to say much about that. Don't need to explain Starfy, I don't think. Chrom, in case you don't know, is the main protagonist of the upcoming Fire Emblem 3DS game. Andy is a character to represent Advanced Wars. Bongo Buddy 61 made a moveset for him. It's really pretty good. I like it. Don't need to say anything about Ridley. The Prince of Sable. The Prince of Sable is kind of the 3DS roster's retro character. The Prince of Sable was from the very popular in Japan, but unfortunately never released in America game, For the Frogs, The Bells Toll for the Game Boy. It was popular in Japan, but was never released in America, which is very sad. It looks like a really good game. Anyway, he can, turn into a frog. So that's, his special thing. So I put him in. Mr. Game & Watch, there he is, Pit, Isaac Ray. There's Lucas, in case you realize that he wasn't in the Wii U roster. The AR Man. The AR Man is that little box with eyes and legs that is kind of the mascot of the AR games application of the Nintendo 3DS. He is intended to be kind of a surprise character, as well as something to represent the various applications on the handhelds, like PictoChat and Flipnote, and of course AR games. I made a moveset for him, so he can fight, And then the Nintendo 3DS box represents its ability to make a customizable character. This is a good idea, and Sakurai said he wanted this to happen. So, I think it's pretty likely, and, I like the idea, so I put it in. Not only that, but this customizable character can't, along with any other version-exclusive characters on the 3DS roster, can be transferred and used on the Wii U version, so you can play it on the big screen with other people. This I've always intended to do, but I need to make special mention of it, because that's one of the main reasons a lot of people are against version-exclusive characters. Anyway, I think that's all I need to say about this, too. So, this is zzuxon signing out. Please leave a comment, tell me what you think. Like if you like. Please subscribe. Signing out.